Hello, in this demo I would like to show you how Openshift 4 is leveraging operators frameworks. With operators you can manage the whole life cycle of any kind of service that is deployed to Kubernetes. So first we will take a look on the operators that are installed as part of Openshift cluster. So you can see here that there are 25 different operators that manage all the components which are deployed as part of an OpenShift on top of Kubernetes. So anything that you know from the previous version that you typically deploy to infra nodes, like router registry, logging, log aggregation server, metrics aggregation server, and all the minor components like certificate authority, uh, identity provider, and DNS or anything else now in OpenShift 4 is deployed as with operator. Uh, so those operators, they provide configurations for different OpenShift components. So here we have available configurations. So for example, if you want to deploy a new identity provider, there is OAuth configuration where you can configure your identity manager. So here you can see the example of identity of IPA identity manager, so LDAP identity provider. Um, there are others. So for example, the image. This is the configuration for image registry that runs in OpenShift cluster. If you want to configure, for example, the router, here is the egress configuration where you can see I have configured the applications subdomain, and there are much more of them. So anything anything that is any component, any service that is deployed in OpenShift is configurable from here. Uh, so apart from those out of the box and default operators, there are some operators which are optional. So all the operators are stored in Operator Hub. So there is a web page, operatorhub.io, you can visit. And also from the OpenShift 4 console, you can see the operators that are installed at OpenShift Hub. So if we now take a look on OpenShift optional operators, you can see here that there's number of operators that you can install into your existing cluster. So for example, log aggregation functionality based on Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Fluentd is not installed by default. So you have operators here, two operators, one for Elasticsearch and one for cluster logging, that you will need to install to enable this functionality. And there are much more different operators. Another very interesting, the new one introduced in version 4 is metering operator, which deploys data warehouse and the reporting engine for metering the usage of different services that are running in the cluster. Um, there are, as you can see here, there are much more operators available. So if you want to deploy some developer oriented services, you can you have a lot of them available out of the box. So once you install your operator, you will see the operator here on the installed operators list. I have already installed number of operators, so we need to wait for the list. So here you can see I have some operators which are more infrastructure related, so logging, for example, and some operators that are more developer oriented, so Camel, AMQ, Streams, and the others. So if you want to install the operator, it is a pretty straightforward process. So let's try one. So let it be business automation. You select the operator, you click install, and here you need to create the operator subscription. So there are basically three informations you need to set here. So first one is the installation mode. So here you decide whether your operator will be globally available for all projects and all users, or it will be visible and available only to specific project. Of course, you can create multiple subscriptions for multiple projects, or you can create a operator that will, or you can install the operator that will be available for all projects. Of course, this mode must be supported by the operator. Then you select the update channel, so where the operator manager will look for the updates and the approval strategy for updates. So whether it will be automatic on or manual. So once you install the operator, it will create for you a number of configuration objects that you can leverage to install some services. So let's have a look, for example, on AMQ Streams operator. So this operator provides the possibility to install Kafka messaging platform clusters in Openshift. So here you can see what kind of APIs this operator provides. So you can create with this operator this objects. So here we can also see what is the difference between having a global operator and operators that are limited to specific namespace. You can see here that the AMQ Streams operator subscription is created in Openshift operators namespace, and this basically means that this operator is available for all users. On the other hand, we can have a look on some different operator. For example, Code Ready Workspaces operator, which, as you can see, is limited to Code Ready namespace. This means that the APIs provided by this operator will be available only in Code Ready namespace, and the APIs that are created with AMQ Streams operator are available to any project. So now if we log in as a regular user, we can have a look into the catalog where we have the list of where we have a list of all available developer services, and here you can see that our Kafka objects are available for the user, but no Code Ready services are available for the regular user to create a